At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work, as a human being. Marcus Aurelius. There is a sacred silence that exists before sunrise, a pause in the universe when the world has not yet awakened. In that silence, the air feels heavier, the light softer, and the mind begins its quiet war. It's the moment between rest and action, between comfort and duty. You lie there, half dreaming, half thinking, listening to the whisper that says, stay a little longer. But another voice, deeper, stronger, calls you to rise. This is where discipline begins. Not in the noise of the world, but in the decision to rise before it. The Stoics believed this first act, rising with purpose, defines the rest of your day and perhaps your entire life. Marcus Aurelius faced the same struggle centuries ago. Even as Emperor of Rome, with all the luxuries of power, he reminded himself daily to rise and meet his duty as a human being. He did not allow himself the comfort of excuses. He understood that greatness is not built in moments of ease, but in moments of resistance. When he wrote Meditations, he wasn't preaching. He was reminding himself to live what he believed. That strength is not inherited. It is practiced every single morning. His mornings were not ruled by comfort. They were ruled by purpose. Today, our world is louder. Alarms scream, phones flash, messages demand attention before we even open our eyes. We are pulled into chaos before we've had a single moment to think. Yet the human struggle remains the same. The battle between comfort and purpose still begins the moment we wake. And just like Marcus Aurelius, we have a choice: to stay in the warmth of our bed or to rise and begin the work of becoming better. The Stoics would tell us comfort is the enemy of growth. Each morning you either surrender to it or you overcome it. Imagine beginning your day with calm instead of rush. No noise, no scrolling, just silence, breath, and intention. The Stoic morning is not about perfection, it's about awareness. It's about waking not to the demands of the world, but to the quiet call of your own soul. Each sunrise becomes an opportunity to practice self-mastery, to remind yourself that you are in control of your mind, your actions, your choices. The sun rises, and so must you. This is the essence of Stoic discipline, the courage to rise when it's easier to rest, the strength to choose duty over desire, the wisdom to see that every morning is a test, one that determines not how your day will go, but who you will become. The Stoics didn't seek comfort. They sought clarity. They began each day with stillness, gratitude, and readiness to face whatever came. And through that practice, they built unshakable discipline. Not in a week, not in a year, but every single morning of their lives. Your morning is more than just the start of a new day. It is the foundation of your entire life. Every sunrise gives you a chance to begin again, to reset, to align yourself with what truly matters. But most of us don't treat it that way. We wake up reacting instead of preparing. We check our phones, we rush through routines, and we enter the world already drained. The Stoics believed that this was a tragedy, because the morning is sacred. It's when your mind is clear, your thoughts pure, and your will untested. What you do with that first hour determines everything that follows. It's the hour that shapes your mindset, your discipline, your destiny. Marcus Aurelius began his days not with distraction, but reflection. He would rise and write in his journal, words that became meditations. They weren't meant for anyone else. They were letters to his own soul. He reminded himself of his purpose, his mortality, and his duty to serve. For him, the morning was not a race, and it was a preparation for life. The Stoics understood that if you can win your morning, you can win your mind. And if you can win your mind, you can win the day. Their mornings were not filled with noise, they were filled with intention, discipline, and stillness. Epictetus, born a slave, taught that freedom is not given. It is earned through mastery of oneself. Every day he would rise and remind his students that they had control only over their thoughts and actions. Everything else was beyond their reach. This realization wasn't meant to discourage. It was meant to liberate. Because when you stop trying to control the world, you begin to master yourself. That is the power of a Stoic morning. It shifts your focus from reaction to reflection, from chaos to calm. It allows you to start your day grounded, instead of scattered. Seneca, the Roman philosopher and advisor to Nero, believed that mornings should be used to train the soul. He wrote that we should begin the day by rehearsing for hardship, by imagining challenges before they arrive. not to invite negativity, but to strengthen the mind against surprise. He who has anticipated adversity, he said, has overcome half of it. That's why Stoic mornings weren't built around comfort or indulgence. They were built around resilience. Every sunrise was a lesson in preparation, a quiet armor being forged before battle. They knew that the day would bring difficulties, but through routine, they met those difficulties with calm. A Stoic morning routine is not about productivity hacks or rigid schedules. It is about creating space to think, to breathe, to prepare your mind for life's demands. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters. The Stoics didn't wake early to prove their worth. They did it to align themselves with nature's rhythm. The rising sun symbolized renewal, discipline, and order. They understood that the universe itself moves with precision, and we too must find rhythm in our actions. A calm, disciplined morning brings order to a chaotic world. In our modern lives, we've forgotten the sacredness of mornings. We wake up already late, already behind, already anxious. We fill our minds with noise before we've even met the silence of dawn. But the Stoics invite us to reclaim this hour, to slow down, to center ourselves, to meet the day on our terms. Imagine waking before the noise begins, standing by your window as the first light touches the sky. You breathe deeply, aware of your presence, your strength, your control. That single moment of awareness can change everything. Discipline for the Stoics was not punishment. It was freedom. Freedom from chaos, from impulse, from weakness. When you discipline your morning, you discipline your mind. And when your mind is disciplined, you are free. Free from distraction, from laziness, from the pull of comfort. The Stoic morning is a quiet rebellion against the world's noise. It's a statement that you choose order over chaos, presence over distraction, purpose over passivity. This is where strength is built, not in the grand acts of the day, but in the small victories of the morning. The Stoic philosophers didn't chase motivation. They built consistency. They didn't wait for perfect conditions. They created them. Each morning was an opportunity to practice virtue, to live with courage, wisdom, justice, and temperance. The discipline they cultivated wasn't just physical, it was spiritual. It wasn't about waking early for the sake of it. It was about meeting the dawn as a student of life. Every sunrise was a reminder that time is fleeting, and that the greatest waste is to let it pass unappreciated. If you want to live a Stoic life, start where the Stoics started, in the morning. Begin not with the world, but with yourself. The first hour after waking is your most powerful tool. It determines whether your day will be ruled by emotion or by reason, by reaction or by intention. The Stoics teach us that we are not victims of our mornings. We are authors of them. You have the power to decide how you'll begin, how you'll think, and how you'll act. And when you start your day with purpose, the rest of life begins to align with it. So in this video, we'll explore the Stoic morning, not as a checklist, but as a philosophy. You'll learn how to rise with clarity, how to train your mind for resilience, and how to build the discipline that nothing can shake. Each habit you'll learn is rooted in ancient wisdom, but perfectly suited for modern life. Because discipline isn't built overnight. It's built each morning you choose to live with intention. Let us now step into the quiet world of the Stoic dawn and discover the practices that shaped the calmest minds in history. The Stoics believed that discipline begins before the sun appears. When the world still sleeps, your mind is untouched, unshaped by noise, comparison, or demand. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the body may crave warmth, but the soul needs work. Rising early is not about chasing productivity. It's about claiming your peace before the world interrupts it. In those early moments, you find clarity, the quiet space where purpose takes root. Most people wake reacting to life. You must wake creating it. Stand by your window. Watch the light shift. Breathe. This is not punishment. This is alignment with nature itself. Epictetus taught that each day should begin with a sense of gratitude, not for luxury or success, but for existence itself. When you open your eyes, remind yourself you are alive. You can think. You can love. You can act. Gratitude is the foundation of Stoic calm because it shifts focus from what's missing to what's present. In a world built on wanting more, gratitude returns you to enough. Before you check your phone, check your breath. Notice the simplicity of being alive. Every sunrise is borrowed time, a gift that millions will not receive today. Start your day by honoring that gift. Marcus Aurelius began each morning by writing, not for an audience but for himself. His meditations were personal reminders of strength, patience, and humility. You too can do the same. Before you step into the world, write a few lines for your soul. What virtues will guide you today? What emotions will you master? What challenges might test you? Reflection transforms reaction into intention. Instead of being pulled by the day, you lead it. Writing grounds your mind, sharpens your focus, and connects you to reason, the Stoic's greatest weapon. It is not journaling. It is self-command. Seneca taught the practice of premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of misfortune. Each morning, imagine what could go wrong: delays, anger, loss, disappointment, not to invite them, but to prepare your mind. When adversity arrives, you will not be shocked. You will be ready. This is how Stoics built emotional armor. Modern life throws chaos at us daily: traffic, arguments, bad news. But if you've already accepted that such things are part of life, they lose their power to disturb you. The wise do not pray for easy days. They prepare for difficult ones, calmly, with dignity and strength. Epictetus reminded his students of a simple truth: some things are within our control, and some are not. Yet most people spend their mornings worrying about the latter. The Stoic morning is about alignment with control, energy directed only toward what you can influence. You cannot control the weather, but you can control your response to it. You cannot control others, but you can control your attitude. The first thought of your day should not be worry, but wisdom. Ask yourself, what's mine to manage today? Everything else, and let it go. That's not apathy. That's freedom. The Stoics treated the body as the servant of the soul. Seneca believed that physical movement, done with awareness, trains not just strength, but virtue. When you move your body in the morning, whether it's stretching, walking, or breathing, you are aligning mind and action. You are proving to yourself that you command your impulses, not the other way around. In our era of convenience, physical discipline is rare, but to rise and move, even when it's uncomfortable, builds the quiet confidence that carries through your day. Each movement becomes meditation, a dialogue between effort and peace. Noise is the great thief of the modern mind. The Stoics understood the value of silence, not as absence, but as nourishment. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to retreat into the self, to find stillness even in the busiest of days. A Stoic morning includes moments without sound, without rush, without distraction. Sit with your thoughts. Listen to your breath. In silence, clarity returns. The world will shout for your attention soon enough, but in the quiet you learn what deserves it. Silence is not empty. It is full of strength, awareness, and peace. Protect it daily. These are not mere habits, and they are disciplines of the soul. Each practice builds the foundation of unshakable calm and direction. When the Stoics spoke of mastery, they did not mean domination over others. They meant mastery over oneself. To them, the greatest victory was waking each day and remaining calm within chaos. The morning routine was simply the arena where this mastery was tested. Every decision, to rise, to breathe, to reflect, was a small act of strength. In time, those acts built unshakable character. The modern world glorifies noise and urgency, but the Stoic begins in silence, because in that silence you find truth, the reminder that discipline is not control over time but harmony with it. Each of the 7 habits is a doorway to something deeper. Rising before the world teaches awareness. Gratitude teaches perspective. Reflection builds reason. Rehearsing adversity builds resilience. Control teaches freedom. Movement teaches alignment. And silence teaches peace. Together they form a philosophy of living, not just a morning routine. The Stoics didn't separate life into parts. They lived each moment as training for the soul. To them, the first hour of the day wasn't about tasks. It was about tuning the mind toward virtue. Every sunrise became a silent vow to live with wisdom today. Discipline, when practiced with awareness, becomes something beautiful. It stops feeling like effort and starts feeling like truth. You stop forcing yourself to wake early. You rise because your soul craves order. You stop chasing motivation because your routine becomes your anchor. This is the transformation Stoicism promises. From chaos to clarity, from hesitation to flow. The habits no longer feel external. They become who you are. Each morning you meet yourself again, sharper, calmer, more centered. The world outside may remain chaotic, but the world within becomes still. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. That reminder wasn't meant to frighten. It was meant to awaken. When you start each morning remembering how fragile time is, you waste less of it. You stop arguing with the day and start walking with it. You begin to see that each moment is an opportunity. To be kind, to be strong, to be wise. A Stoic morning is not about routine. It's about reverence. It's a daily reminder that your time is borrowed, and that each sunrise deserves your full attention. When you wake with intention, you no longer live on autopilot. You begin to see the patterns of your mind, how easily it drifts toward distraction or fear. Stoicism helps you reclaim control by bringing awareness to that drift. Each time you choose discipline over comfort, you are rewriting the script of your life. You are proving to yourself that you are capable of mastery. The world may test you, but if your mornings are grounded, your spirit remains unshaken. That is the quiet power of a Stoic life. Steadiness in a storm that never stops. Imagine living each day with the calm of a still lake. The winds of circumstance may stir it, but beneath the surface it remains steady. This is what the Stoics trained for. Inner stillness amidst outer chaos. Their mornings were rituals of return, returning to values, to purpose, to peace. They did not seek perfection. They sought consistency. They knew that greatness is not found in grand gestures, but in repeated devotion to small disciplines. And so they practiced day after day, sunrise after sunrise, until discipline became their nature and calm their constant companion. The Stoic morning reminds us that control of the self is the highest form of power. You cannot choose what happens today, but you can choose how to meet it. You can meet it with fear, or you can meet it with calm. You can rush or you can rise. You can complain or you can create. The world belongs not to those who react, but to those who respond. And response is born from reflection. The moment you learn to pause, to think, to breathe before you act, might you become powerful. Because nothing external can shake what's rooted in awareness. In every sunrise lies a hidden lesson. Everything begins again. No matter what yesterday held, regret, failure, frustration, dawn offers renewal. The Stoics saw each morning as a reset for the soul. You are not bound by who you were last night. You are free to begin again. This is the quiet mercy of time. Each day you can return to discipline, to gratitude, to peace. And with every return you grow stronger. The repetition refines you, shaping your character like stone polished by water. Softly, patiently, persistently, until the chaos within is carved into calm. What we learn from the Stoics is simple, but timeless. Control your mornings, and you will control your life. It's not about rituals, it's about reverence. Not about time management, but about mind management. They teach us that the first victory of the day is not against the clock, but against ourselves. The victory of will over comfort, of clarity over noise, of purpose over passivity. In a world that pulls us in 1,000 directions, Stoicism calls us back to one, inward. And in that inward journey, discipline becomes devotion. When the sun rises tomorrow, it will rise for everyone, but how you greet it will define your life. Most people will rush into the day, chasing time, reacting to noise. But you will pause. You will breathe. You will remember the words of the Stoics. You will rise not because you have to, but because you choose to. You will move with intention, guided by gratitude and awareness. You will not fight the day. You will meet it with calm strength. Because discipline is not about force, it's about alignment. And the more you align with your purpose, the more peace you'll feel. The Stoics remind us that we are not here to be perfect. We are here to practice. Every morning is another chance to do so. You will fail some days, and that's okay. Marcus Aurelius failed too. Seneca lost his temper. Epictetus had doubts. But what made them Stoic was not perfection. It was persistence. They returned to discipline again and again until it became their nature. So when tomorrow comes and your mind whispers to stay in bed, smile. Because that's your test. Rise anyway. Each victory over comfort shapes the person you are meant to become. There is beauty in simplicity. A Stoic morning is not complicated, it is quiet, deliberate, and pure. Wake, breathe, reflect, move, be grateful. Be calm. If you can master these few acts, you can master yourself. The world outside may remain unpredictable, but inside you will find steadiness. Remember, chaos does not disturb those who are anchored in clarity. The Stoic morning teaches you that peace is not found. It is created down within you every single day. And with practice, that peace becomes your power. It follows you through storms, through struggles, through life. Imagine this. You wake before the world and silence greets you like an old friend. You open your journal, write a few honest words, then step into movement. A stretch, a breath, a calm rhythm. The light outside grows stronger, but so does the one within you. You sip your coffee slowly, not as an escape, but as a ritual of presence. The noise of life will come, but you are already centered. You've already chosen how to meet it. That is what a Stoic morning gives you. A mind unshaken, a heart steady, and a life lived on purpose. The Stoic morning routine is not just about starting your day. It's about shaping your destiny. It's a practice that turns ordinary mornings into sacred beginnings. You become the sculptor of your own life, carving patience, courage, and discipline into your character one sunrise at a time. And that's what the Stoics understood better than anyone. That greatness is built in silence when no one is watching. When you choose stillness over scrolling, effort over excuses, reflection over reaction, that is when transformation begins. Each dawn you rise not just from sleep, but from yesterday's self. And now, as you leave this video, carry one simple thought. You already have everything you need to live like a Stoic. The wisdom of centuries lives within you. The power to rise early, to think deeply, to act with calm. Don't let the world decide your rhythm. Choose it yourself. The morning is your teacher, your mirror, your training ground. Let every sunrise remind you that you are stronger than comfort, wiser than impulse, and more resilient than circumstance. The Stoics didn't wait for peace, and they created it. And so can you, one morning at a time. Thank you for watching the Stoic Journal. If this message found you in the right moment, if it reminded you of the strength already within you, take a moment to breathe and reflect. If you found peace here, subscribe and stay a while. This space is built for those who seek calm in a world of noise, discipline in a world of distraction, meaning in a world of haste. Share this with someone who needs a little stillness today. And remember, wisdom isn't learned in books alone. It's practiced one morning, one choice, one breath at a time.